In today's episode of Underrated Horror, I'm going to be talking about Would You Rather? Oh, yeah. Released in 2012, it follows Iris, played by Brittany Snow. She's kind of in between jobs and is left with the responsibility of taking care of her younger brother, who is sick and in need of treatment.
Iris Shepard Lambert.
Dr. Barton's told me much about you. Your brother, he's quite sick.
But struggling to make ends meet on top of being in debt, she ends up getting invited to a dinner of a rich investor. And in that dinner, she's going to be able to participate in a game for a chance to win a ton of money that will not only get her out of debt, but will help pay for her brother's treatment and surgery. And as you can imagine, the game ends up being a lot more than she bargained for. In total, there are 8 people who were invited, including Iris. One of them being Mr. McAllister from Home Alone. And the son of the rich guy in charge is Penguin from Gotham. And he's such a prick in this movie too. Now the true purpose of it all is for there to be one sole winner. Or should I say one sole survivor. Because that's what this is. It's a last one remaining wins type of game. And everyone slowly but surely finds out what's truly at stake. And as the title puts it, it's a simple game of would you rather. But the options are just bonkers. Could be something like, would you rather stab the person next to you in the leg? Or would you rather be brutally whipped on your back? And they're constantly getting options like that. And they have to choose one or the other. They can't choose none. Well, they can choose none, but the price of refusing to play is quite literally deadly. Now, every character has this desperation and reason for being there. Even though it's not heavily explored, it's still implied. They all have a current reason or a past demon that they're trying to overcome, which kind of makes the whole scenario sad. You know, it's sad to be in that kind of position to begin with. But then add all the trauma that they have to face just to try to get to a better place. It's all just sad. I'd say about 90 to 95% of this movie is them in this dining room, and you're just watching these characters go through with this sadistic game. But what I really love is how tense it is. You really have no clue what's about to happen next, and you also have no idea just how worse the options are gonna get, which really only adds to its suspense, especially because it becomes evident that things are gonna go from bad to worse.
No, I can't do that.
You must make the decision. It's the game.
What the fuck is the matter with you people?
Would you rather?
Now this movie is definitely on the simpler side of things, but that doesn't really affect much. The simplicity in this overall movie really allows its primary focus to be the game itself, not at all trying to be more than that. And there's not a whole lot of gore or anything over the top either. It's really not trying to go for anything too crazy, but what it does go for, it goes for really well. The movie is tense, it's nerve-wracking. You have these characters facing horrible fates, all at the cost of desperation. It's kind of crazy to see how far people will go out of desperation, too. Now, this movie isn't the scariest or most traumatic thing you'll ever see, but 90 minutes of a deadly game of Would You Rather can be pretty fun to watch, when done right. And this movie does it right. And it doesn't take a whole lot for it to do so either. This movie is kind of like a more simplified and grounded version of Squid Game. Granted, this movie and Squid Game are miles and miles away from being anything like each other. But in terms of certain plot details, they're definitely in the same vein. Would You Rather is just one of those movies that might not necessarily be everyone's favorite, but there's still so much to appreciate. It's a thriller that does more than enough to keep you intrigued, with some truly tense moments and an ending that is absolutely devastating. Would You Rather is definitely an underrated horror film that I think most horror fans should definitely watch at least once. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. So what's an underrated horror film that you would recommend? Let me know down below. As always, your time is appreciated, and I'll catch you on the next one.